What's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about what to expect as a buyer in today's market. So if you're already out there shopping as a buyer in today's market, you probably already know that it's competitive and there's super low inventory. I previously made a video of why it's so competitive and why the inventory is so low. So I wanted to give you my tips of what it takes to be most competitive and get your offer accepted in today's market. Number one, you gotta be available, you gotta be realistic, and you gotta be competitive. When I say you gotta be available, I mean if your agent is sending you homes via email or you're on Redfin, Zillow looking at the homes that become available, you gotta get out there as soon as possible. So if a home pops up on a Monday or a Tuesday, it's not likely, or let's say it's very possible, it might be in escrow by this weekend, by Saturday or Sunday when you have the day off and it's the best time for you to go look at houses. Also, when you do make it out there to see the house and you determine that it is a great option for you, you have to make quick decisions. It's not really a market where you can sit back, take a day, 2 days, or any amount of time to really decide if it's something that you want to put an offer on. Like I said, it's very possible that it can go into escrow at any moment. Now, when you do see homes and decide that it's definitely an option for you, you have to make a competitive offer. So let's talk about what a competitive offer includes. So basically in today's market, sellers literally have pick up the litter of what buyers offer they're gonna accept. Basically, they're looking at obviously price, most importantly terms that are gonna make it most convenient to them as the seller. So that's why you wanna offer not only your strongest price, but also your strongest terms. Let's talk about what I mean by that. So in any type of market, they're gonna look at price, they're gonna look at terms, they're gonna look at your financing and your down payment. That's kind of normal that any seller is going to look at those things. Let's see like specifically how things have changed in the recent market. So what I mean by what things have changed, or more specifically how you can be strong in today's market, is terms you can offer to really catch the seller's attention. And that is as-is purchases. Many people are offering as-is homes. It doesn't mean that you can't do a home inspection and determine that there's nothing significantly wrong with the home, such as a health or a safety issue, but it's basically telling the seller that, hey, I want this house, I want it bad, and I'm willing to take it as is and do any little minor repairs or take on any little minor repairs with the house when I buy it. In addition to that, another thing people are doing to be competitive or appealing to the seller, make it easier on the seller, is no termite. You're offering to purchase the home without a termite clearance. I mean, most houses, even not being a termite inspector, just you or I can just look at a house and determine that, it's not termite infested. We see common places of termites, maybe like wood patios. Keep in mind, termite reports not only include termite issues, but also like any wood issues, dry rot, weather damage, stuff like that. That's kind of common on exterior of homes. So it's something that's really not like a deal breaker for you as a buyer and something that you can address in time. But if you are willing to purchase a home without a termite, it can definitely be an opportunity for you to look more competitive and appealing to the seller. Again, it's beneficial to the seller because it might save them a little money, not only on a termite report or inspection, but also any minor repairs that the house may need. Another big thing in today's market, as far as trying to be competitive in getting an offer accepted, is appraisal. Now, the one big thing in today's market that buyers are kind of having to do to be competitive, in many cases, not always, but in many cases, is waive the appraisal contingency. So I have other videos that break down what the appraisal contingency is, and if you need more information on that, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me or check out that video. But basically, the appraisal is important, and if you're going to be waiving it, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into. So I'm not saying if it's a bad thing or a good thing, because the reality of today's market is in some cases it's almost a requirement if you really want that house. So it's important to do your research, right? Determine on that specific home and that specific area, what does it mean to waive the appraisal, and how much are you risking? How much are you leaving on the table, let's say? What you want to check out the comps, you want to check out the recent sales in the neighborhood, and then determine how much of a potential gap you might have and how much you are willing to pay out of your pocket. Because if you're waiving an appraisal, you're basically telling the seller that you're going to pay that amount of money regardless of what the appraisal comes in at. For example, you offer 500 and the appraisal comes in at 490 and you waive that appraisal contingency, you are then responsible, contractually responsible as the buyer to pay the difference of $10,000 cash out of pocket. It can't be financed into your home loan. So again, not good, not bad. Many people are doing it. It's all about, number one, your situation. How much do you have available to do something like that? And number two, how much do you really like that home? Is it your forever home? Is it your dream home? People are sometimes willing to do that and pay. I've seen people waive appraisal contingencies up to $60,000 just in my own experience, but in some cases it's higher and in most cases it's lower. Another idea you can do to be competitive but also not leave that appraisal open-ended to come out of pocket, a large amount, you can put like a bridge or a cap on what you're willing to pay over appraised value. Many of my clients right now, they're doing up to $5,000 over the appraised value. So it's not really guaranteeing that they have to pay that $5,000. If the appraisal comes in any amount lower than where they're in escrow at, they're committing to pay up to $5,000 over that appraised value. So it protects you a little bit as a buyer to not, be having to pay an excessive amount of money, but it also shows the seller that you are competitive, you're willing to pay a little bit over what the appraisal might come in at. So it's kind of like a win-win for both sides. So another very important thing is, who are you working with, right? Who are you working with? What agent are you working with? And who's putting in these offers for you, right? What's their experience with getting offers accepted? What's their experience with the process of getting an offer accepted? How is their communication? And what is their game plan to get your offer accepted? Especially when it comes to beating out the competition, if they're asking you or advising you to waive the appraisal contingency, you want to make sure that not only you understand what you're doing, but also that the agent understands what they're asking you to do and also how much of a risk you're taking. Like, make sure they do their due diligence to show you, how risky is it to waive that appraisal in that particular home. And the risk could be different on different offers on a specific home in one city or another city. Waiving an appraisal, depending on what's going on in those cities, could be less or more risky in some cases. Basically, you want to put your best foot forward when you're making offers in today's market. Be competitive, work with somebody that knows what they're doing. If you have any other questions or tips or things that have worked for you that we can share with other people of how to get an offer accepted or how to be competitive in today's market, feel free to share them. I'll share them. Let me know if you have any other questions or concerns about this topic. You can leave a comment. Like it, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you guys on the next one.